Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me in the studio once again my friend, Ambassador Aminu Amen Wisdom.
Yes,
you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Ambassador Amen Wisdom has an interesting history and career, and he will share with us his thoughts on what is happening in Nigeria. Having traveled to over 100 countries,
Yes,
right?
160.
160 countries.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
And I thought I was well traveled. I won't travel to over 160 countries and living partly now in Canada. And then with his strategic global mentorship program, he's in touch with leaders in Sweden, in Britain, in the US, in Kenya, in different countries in the world. Now, coming back home.
Yes.
This is still your home.
Yes, very well. Very well. We love this home. I love this home.
This is still your home. So, as you are doing mentoring for people all over the world,
Yes.
how are we going to get out of problem today? You are visiting us at a time. Recently, there was the train attack. Then there is the Deborah who was killed mercilessly, brutally for expressing an opinion in Sokoto. Then we have bomb blast here, we have there. Then we now have leaders preparing for 2023 elections in the midst of all these problems. University students are at home. This is the third month, and it's as if nobody cares. The country has pretty much collapsed. We are experiencing almost what they call state failure. They used to talk about fragile states. I think we have gone beyond fragile states to a failing state if it has not failed. Now, what will be your recommendations as to the way to recovery? Because right now, we thought before that we have already hit rock bottom. Economy today, I'm told that the dollar is almost 600 naira to $1. This is the dollar that when I was in school was 65 kobo. In the same country, in my lifetime, the dollar was 65 kobo. We are told it's almost 600 naira to the dollar. So we have degenerated to such an extent that I don't know what the hope is for the future. And I'm looking forward to you giving us words of hope, words of comfort as to assure us. I want you to assure us that there is light beyond the tunnel, and tell us how you think we would, with all your experience, how we think we will get out of this mess.
First, let me thank you and for your work from afar, making impact to contribute your own quota to remind our leaders we must wake up. We are not truthful.
So the first thing is that we must wake up.
We must wake up
to be true to ourselves.
To be true to ourselves from the reality of our falsehood.
Get off from our falsehood.
Exactly.
So you believe that we Nigerians have not been telling truth to ourselves?
Quite a number of us are wearing a mask.
We are wearing a mask.
We have masqueraded all our activity, the things we do. Over the years, we have continued to pretend that all is well.
Like an ostrich that has his head in the ground.
Exactly. Now, what we preach to our people is very important. You can't do a different thing privately and do a different thing publicly and expect that there will be no reaction. I was born and brought up in the north, in Kaduna to be precise. I grew up in everything. I'm known in Edo State, where I came from. What some of these religious leaders preach in their various mosques privately, what they teach these people privately is alarming. And the government and the authorities are aware.
Oh, are you saying that what they preach could be very dangerous, but that the government,
not only
some people in the government are aware?
Yes, they are aware. Injurious and dangerous. And they know. And they know because security information, the entire security of the entire nation, both states, you have state directors in each state.
Yes, of DSS.
Of DSS as well as police, apart from the divisional police.
And they have their intelligence units.
They have all their intelligence units all over the whole places. They are aware of some of these things. Now, in the advent of this social media, WhatsApp and Facebook and all that, you see some kind of posting all over the whole place. Now, I'm saddened with the death of Deborah. It's simply a reminder of what has come to live with us, that we don't see anything wrong with, because it has not reached some of us directly.
It has not reached our families yet.
It has not reached our family. But by the way, it has reached me.
Because
Deborah is part of me.
Yes.
Deborah is my daughter. That's the way I feel.
Yes, a 22-year-old girl.
Any serious leader must be concerned,
yes,
and be worried for that kind of barbaric act. Not even the way she finally died. The process that led to her death was a very painful one. For just expressing an opinion, it's very worrisome. In other parts of the world, this type of thing can spark up a revolution, an unrest. But the National Assembly is still sitting as I speak. Not a mention.
No, I wish you are not a mention since this last week.
I have not had it anywhere. Not a mention of that incident. Is it because Deborah was not an ex-senate or ex-minister or ex-governor
Or daughter of a governor.
or daughter of an emir or daughter of a president? That is how we value our citizens, and then we expect them to be loyal to the nation. It's worrisome. It's worrisome. Again, the train. I recall I was precisely somewhere. I think it was there was a train derailed in this country. I think Spain. There was an issue with the train.
Okay.
Got stuck. Not that people died. The government moved to that location en masse and evacuate people, joined to supervise the evacuation of the people, to assess their condition.
Yes.
If they are going through any kind of trauma.
Oh yeah, the psychologists will be.
So that they would treat them. Here, people are still in captivity.
157 people are in captivity for the third month.
People are still in captivity, and all these campaigners, all these so-called, I'm sorry, you can't shut down the campaign and call for a meeting collectively. We are talking about Nigeria. Which Nigeria do you want to rule? Which Nigeria? Under which kind of environment?
That is my own shock. My own shock about this whole campaign all over the place is that you have a situation where 157 captives are in there. Children are being born in captivity. And then you have all our public universities.
None of them is talking about it.
Students at home.
Yes.
And then you can be talking of any
So
campaign.
the issue of the student, again, that's why I started by saying the leaders are masquerading in what doesn't exist. And let me say this with all sense of humility. We are all responsible for what is going on now. It's not the first strike. It's not the first one. We don't take it seriously. And those that are responsible are joking with it.
I mean, joking with the future of our young people.
Yes.
And I'm saying, talking about the students being at home. It is said that an idle man is
It's
the
a devil's
workshop.
That's what I'm saying. They are not what they don't even see the effect,
Yes.
generational effect of that damage.
I mean, you are playing with fire.
They don't see the effect of the generational effect of that time, because along the line, you are going to find an armed robber from this.
Oh yes.
You are going to find
cultists.
You are going to
ritualists.
You are going to find the so-called Yahoo, the Yahoo boys I mean, boys and girls, they are no longer, the Yahoo is no longer being carried out by boys alone. Both boys and girls they are now involved. So these are where you derive, because you are not engaging them. They are not engaged. The children are at home, they wake up, go to the field and play ball. I mean, when they cannot play ball, they go to a corner. If they are not smoking in their home, they are involved in one vice or the other.
Life for them is frustrating.
It's frustrating. So they need something to encourage them, to take them off the street. Now, again, the public schools, even when they were in class, have equally collapsed.
Of course.
So I think this is an opportunity for us. That this time we have to choose a leader. That's why I came home, to be involved in the process. Can't continue to be on the sideline or complain. To be involved in the process to ensure that the right leader emerge. We don't have any other country. This is the only country we have. And by the way, I have said this time without number, that Nigeria is not a bad country. You only have bad people in Nigeria who are creating all these corrupt, who have actually destroyed the country at various levels.
Yes.
Only some few days ago, I read in paper with a shock that the Accountant General
of the Federation
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is the Chief Accounting Officer of the Federal Government of Nigeria, was caught with 80 billion.
No, is it caught with or alleged to
have? No, they are talking about other properties they have discovered. That is aside from the 80 billion they found.
No, what I'm saying, did they find 80 billion, or that there's allegation of corruption worth 80 billion?
But sir, whichever way it comes, how can a chief accounting officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I've read quite a number of few things that have been circulated about him, meaning, and let me also say this, I must say this loud and clear, that he's not involved alone.
Of course, it can be him alone.
He's not involved alone. The government needs to also go after the accomplice.
There will be accomplices.
It is important to do so, otherwise it will be considered as being sacrificed.
For 80 billion, allegation of 80 billion, there will be central bank people involved.
Of course.
There will be commercial bank people involved. There will be maybe some ministers involved.
And directors involved as well.
Yes.
And directors involved, and perhaps the junior ones are only going to comply with the instruction from the top. So we have a nation that we must do everything possible to stamp out wrong people in the right position.
Now, what will make somebody steal 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion, one individual? What is he or she going to do with it? What will make an individual, there are thieves, but the kind of figures we are hearing appear to me a matter of a mental problem.
Yes, let me say this also, that a lot of people are half-baked in their respective position. They might be professors, they might be doctors, they might be a PhD holder, but they are half-baked in terms of operating the position they hold. Therefore, they have operated up to the limit of their understanding. And that itself can lead to mental illness. Not being, it's in this part of the world that we don't consider training anymore as value.
Mm-hmm. We just somebody knows somebody, and then
that's all, and you are put there. And I say you cannot give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have, what you don't carry, you can't give. And we are not yet willing to humble ourselves. In Canada, for instance, every public servant goes for training monthly. Not annually.
Monthly.
Updating. Because today, the process of knowledge acquisition is so fast that what you know now
The changes are
can
so
change
fast. Yes.
the next second.
No, there's a saying. There's a saying that if the pace of learning in an organization is not more than or at least equal to the pace of change in the environment within which the organization is functioning, that organization will soon go out
Exactly.
out of
So
existence.
we are living in a world today that we are talking to some children. They are checking their smartphone
As you are talking, yes.
to profile
What you are saying.
and to verify what you are saying.
Yes.
So how can you be half big in that kind of generation
And,
and
be able-
expect
and expect the
to
society
meet up
yes.
with them? It's not possible.
I mean, clearly, when you look at a lot of our leaders
Yes.
and those who are running our affairs,
Yeah.
whether as governor or minister
Yes.
or whatever, and go to certain small countries
Yeah.
and see the caliber of people running those affairs, you ask yourself, these people want to be leaders in a country to compete with other countries?
It's not possible.
How?
It is not possible.
You have people who have never read a book since they left university.
It's not possible. No, they don't even lay priority in reading. They don't. We opened up a bookstore in Nigeria here, 1999. We had to shut down the bookstore.
Because it was not, people were not patronizing.
People were not patronizing. In fact, at some point, we reduced the price to a point we started giving the books out for free. We had to shut it down. But I asked someone a question. I discussed it intensely with quite a number of people. You have beer parlors
all over the place.
all over the whole place. It's the same way you have churches all over the whole place. There is no single library
No, in most cities.
in most cities.
And if you ask a young
No
man,
single library.
if you ask a young man who is a graduate in Abuja, where's the National Library?
He doesn't know.
He won't know.
One night I take a trip around Abuja. I counted 262,000. No. 266. Is it 62? 200 and something anyway.
Clubs
And beer parlors
in Abuja.
in Abuja alone. We carry out, it was deliberate.
And did you check when you got 260 something? Did you check the number of libraries?
There was no single one. It's only one that is functioning, only one. And that one that is functioning, there's even absolutely nothing in those libraries. Now, I know that in the past, well, I have a background. I had worked in the bookstore, in the federal government bookstore. I know in the past, anyone who published a book in Nigeria
Yes.
must give at least 2 copies
To the
to the National Library.
Yes. Yes.
Those copies are taken to those libraries. I was looking for the book titled Conscience and History by Peter Odili. Someone referred to that book that led to, I couldn't find it. I had to trace Odili himself to get a copy.
Because you can't get it in bookshops.
I can't get it in bookstore. I can also get it in the library. There is no library here you can go to and find any material.
That's a pity.
I was also looking for some of the books of our past leader, President Obasanjo. I have to go to Ota. I have to go to Abekuta, to Obasanjo Presidential Library to access some of those materials.
This is sad. This is very, very,
it
very
is.
sad. I mean, it's
It
so
is.
bad that recently, early this year, March 5th, Terra had to celebrate a book festival. I was showing you some
I
images.
saw it.
We had to celebrate a book festival to remind people about the importance of books. To let people know that nations that are making it today is based on information.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
information is in books.
Yes, exactly. You know, I heard a story of where it was said, I don't know at what point, that if you want to hide something for a black man,
You put it in
in a
books.
book.
And we are confirming it with what you are saying.
I have since been very conscious of that statement. Now you get to some home, they have home theaters. They have no
Huge
library.
TVs.
They have no library.
No library. You know what we did? You know what my people did? What they did was, the white man in GROs always had sitting room and a study.
Yeah.
When the white man left, they
Yeah.
converted the study to a room.
Exactly.
An extra room.
Exactly. Some of them converted it to a dining.
Dining, yes.
I never had a dining in my house. The first thing we had when we were growing up was just a table,
Yes.
a reading, where you must go to read. I have a day every week I shut down to read and think.
Absolutely important.
Yes.
To read and think.
To read and think.
Stay away from people.
Yes,
Stay away
I
from
shut
phone.
down.
Yes.
I shut down both my phone because if you are not building a library, you are either building a mortuary.
If you are not building a library,
You are building a mortuary.
mortuary.
Yes.
A dead brain.
A dead brain. I mean, unconsciously you will find yourself dead.
Of course.
Completely.
I mean, but that is what is happening. Precisely, that's what's happening to our leadership.
So when you see certain people take certain decisions, it's born out of what the limitation of
The emptiness
the
inside.
emptiness in them.
Yeah.
So people eat. They don't also consider that you need to feed the brain.
Yes.
You can only feed the brain through reading.
Yes. I mean, this is absolutely important because maybe one of the things, now that you are here to see what we are doing in the elections, maybe one of the things to do to those who are campaigning for leadership at every level is to say, how many books have you read in the last 1 year?
Yes.
Tell us about the books you have read in
Not
1
your
year.
certificate.
No,
not your
no,
certificate.
Certificate is
Not your certificate.
I mean, certificates, people are getting certificates.
Exactly.
easily
Not
in
your
Nigeria.
certificate.
How many books have you read in the
How
last
many
1
have you
year?
read?
In the last 1 year.
Exactly. And we also want to in fact, we have written to the political parties and the INEC and the government requesting for the individual profile
Of these candidates. And we have a right. You mean their profile is not updated?
What we mean by updated is we are not saying until you are able to translate that certificate
to
something tangible
that we can see.
That
you
we
have
can
done.
see. Whatever you are saying to us is still a story. You must be able to translate that certificate to something touchable, feelable, seeable. Permit me to put it that way. Seeable, touchable, feelable. If we can't see it that way, we cannot believe in you.
Yeah, I mean, it is time now that our country, just before coming to the studio here, I was at a conference and I was saying that if your car is knocking, the engine of your car is knocking, it's about to be destroyed, you look for an expert mechanic.
Yes, to fix it.
You don't look for your relation.
No.
You look for an expert mechanic.
Yeah.
Nigeria is on the way to knocking.
Yes.
What we need is a mechanic.
Yeah.
Somebody that has the knowledge and the skills and the passion.
Exactly. When I was going to found Strategic Global Mentorship, it took me 2 years and identify key people, key personality who have made mark in those areas. In Canada, in America, in UK, I brought them together. I was literally tutored. Not seeking to have certificate. I was literally tutored to prepare me.
Yes.
And I'm still in contact with them because you don't say that you've connected a light to your house, you finish doing what you are doing, and then you cut off the light. You will remain in darkness.
Yes.
That current must continue to flow for you to continue to have relevance.
Yes.
In any area you want to
must
function.
continue to be nurtured.
Nurtured by those who train you.
Yes.
Now, today, we have some leaders who have not gone out for any kind of training.
You know what they even do? It's even getting worse. That in the public service, a lot of the trainings they are supposed to have, they actually organize it themselves and issue certificate for themselves without actually having the training. So they're supposed to go for training, 5 days training. There are units and departments and so on that will not hold that training at all, but they claim the money.
That's true. Yeah, because the intention was wrong.
In the first place.
In the first place, the intention was the money. It's not the training. So many people we have today in the system are not actually applying their skill. They are completely displaced. They are not rightly positioned.
And on account of all this, it is very painful for me to see, on account of all this, smart, talented, gifted young people are leaving the country in droves.
Yeah, the reason is this. The what is even more worrisome is the government is not seeing anything wrong with it.
You're not seeing anything wrong with the fact that
They don't see anything wrong with they are going out. And that is more dangerous. Because a situation where in Nigeria have no place
in his own country.
The other day I was ashamed to hear that Saudi Arabia doctors came in here to Sheraton Hotel in Abuja.
Yes, and people were
recruiting
yes.
our doctors
yes.
out of the country.
Yes, doctors were hanging backpack and queuing and on queue in Sheraton. Oh yeah, we saw it on TV.
I mean, this is alarming.
Yes.
It shouldn't happen.
Yes.
This should call for worry. So that's why it is important for us to have leaders who we are sure is updated. But when you are not updated, you are naturally outdated. We are not what you can't give what you don't have.
Now, as we work towards closing this segment of the program, can you give me 2, 3, 4 ways to go to recover, to redeem this country if it is still redeemable? What must we do? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good. 1, we must go back to those documents. I keep saying that Nigeria has enough documented process out of the quagmire we find ourselves. There have been series of national conference, series of conferences, dialogue
events
that have been in place. Those papers are there gathering talks. We must go back to those papers. We have been shying away from them. Now we can see. We must go back there.
Go back to the documents of the various dialogue events.
Those various dialogue. Identify credible Nigerians. There are still credible Nigerians in this country today who are willing, at no cost to the government, at no cost to the government, who are ready to still sacrifice their time to implement those documents at a speedy level. Because where we are now
is so dangerous.
It's too dangerous for us to continue to pretend that the center will hold.
The center will not hold. Things are falling apart.
Yes.
The center can definitely not hold.
Number 2.
Yes.
We must take our children very seriously.
Take our young people very seriously.
Young people very, very seriously. We must invest time, not just our own children.
The children around us.
The children around us are our children. We are fathers.
Yes, and mothers.
We are fathers and mothers and senior brothers, and we are fathers. The armed robbers that is targeting other people's children on the road is somebody else's child who has been misguided. Needs to be rescued. Needs to be showed the way.
We must make time to rescue our young people.
Make time to rescue our young people.
2. Yes.
3. We must deal consciously with our institutions.
Build institutions. Fund them.
Respect our teachers.
If we make nonsense,
reverence them.
If we make nonsense of our teachers, we can't get much out of the
Reverence
schools.
them, because for ASU to be on strike should call for a sober reflection for every member of
it
this
should be
government.
considered a national
emergency.
a national emergency for ASU to be on strike.
National emergency. In fact, all the state government, in fact, the whole country should come to a halt.
Yeah, if there's no teaching, I mean, we have no future.
So, this must be taken seriously.
What's number 4?
Number 4, our medicals is bad. Our pregnant women are dying on a daily basis.
Yes, we are still having infant mortality,
maternal
all
mortality. All
mortality.
kinds of things are going on in the background that you can't hear. But I visit some hospitals to pay bills of people I don't know. It's horrible. We are pretending that things are okay. There are people who don't have even 10 naira to buy Panadol. Some people have died of malaria that can be cured. All this, we have to stop this window dressing that things are okay, things are well. A lot of things are wrong.
I've been speaking with Ambassador Aminu, Wisdom, and he says the first thing we need to do as Nigerians, if we are to redeem this country, is to speak the truth to ourselves. To speak the truth to ourselves. We have been living a camouflage.
Yes.
We have been lying to ourselves all this while. Next is that we need to elect leaders who are updated.
Yes.
Because if they are not updated, they will be outdated. We need to work, and then we need to make time for our young people and put resources into the institutions that are forming our young people. Otherwise, there's no future for this country. Ambassador Aminu Wisdom is the convener of the Strategic Global Mentorship Program, and I am privileged to be one of the trustees in that program. Ambassador, you're welcome to the studio, and we hope that when next you come, we'll meet again to discuss some.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.